Hi guys, this is Paul, KA7APR. I want to do something today I've never done before, and that is show you my little man pack, my little packable pack that I can do a summits on the air, parks on the air with just this one little pack. My radio, my batteries, everything within this little pack. I'm going to show you that today on KA7APR. Okay guys, so today we're going to just kind of go through, I think most of you can do this. Most of you have a cell phone and a pack. And I'm going to kind of break this down, show you what I have within it. And then after that, we're going to set it up and do a photo activation here in the park today. So give me just 1 minute. Okay, so first thing I want to do is just kind of show you what I have in the bag. By the way, I'll have links in the description below of where to buy most of these items. I've collected this over years, and I'll bet many of you have these items already too. And yeah, it'll be great. So first things first, I want to show you this. I'll bet most of you already have this. This is the packtenna. It's a 20 through 10 packtenna, and I have added the 40 meter extension. So with this little end-fed half wave, great little antenna. We're going to set this up today. We're going to do probably 20 meters, but yeah, that's my antenna. Really small, fits perfectly up here. Also got wind going on here in the park. It's beautiful today, but that's probably normal to have wind. Right at the top, you might know this. This is my mast, the Little Dude 6. I have kind of modified it myself. I don't like losing my top, so I kind of attach it here. And I've added with these little loops some ground stakes. We'll set that up. But that's my mast. This is the cool little thing by HRD Industries. Great antenna mast. I'll show you that, how I set that up. This is kind of unique. I probably don't have a lot of people that do this. This is... I've modified it, but I took off Amazon a tent pole kind of replacement thing, and I broke it in half, and this is what I use to hold things up. I like it because it's easy collapsible. I added on some Velcro. It wraps up really quickly. I wanted it small and compact to fit in my bag, and I used 2 of these. I'll either do 1 of these for an infant half wave, or I'll do 2 on one on each side. And yeah, really cool little thing. I also got this from Ham Radio Dude, and I don't know if any of you have this. This is just regular PVC, but it has these end caps, and you take this off, and the spike is actually in the center. And you take this, it has threaded inserts in that, and you undo this, you take this one and you put in that threaded insert, and then you put it like this and that goes then perfectly, I'll show you later on, for the Ham Radio Dude mast. Yeah, that's just regular 1/2-inch PVC, but this is perfect. It's awesome. Fits perfectly up through the center. Next, I'll show you my radio. You're going to be surprised what I use. It is a pretty basic radio, and I keep it in this little bag. I like to compartmentalize things, and I put my call sign on top, kind of nice. But you're going to be surprised what radio I actually use, and it is small. I'll get to this in a minute. It is the truSDX radio, and I love this little radio. We're going to do an activation today on this. And I'm going to show you how I also plug in and get some sound into the video. You'll hear a lot better. I like it has 18 650 batteries. I have some extra batteries in here if those run out, so I can run on that. And it just powers on by plugging it in. The cool thing about the truSDX is it is really a CW radio, but it does 80, 60, 40, 30, 20. I wrote that on there. And you can do single sideband with this little radio, 5 watts, as long as you have an external power. And I love this guy. You've probably seen it in my videos before, but we're going to activate the park with this radio today. Along with that, I have taken the advice of DL2MAN, and I made my own little radio, or handheld, and it will connect. It does run on a battery. I have to remember to charge this battery. That's the one downside to this thing. So I have to remember to charge it when I go do an activation. But talk about, man, I can just do really good contacts with this, and I can hear better. If it's really hard, I'll also plug in headphones into the side, and you'll hear that later on in the video as well. In the front, I have just some basic paper and cable. I'll get to this cable in just a second. If I really want to run some good power through my radio, through this truSDX, I actually have a talent cell battery that I'll pull out. And what's cool about this is you can plug it into here, you can turn it on and plug in the radio, and you have the true power supply that lasts a lot longer. I actually like and prefer the 18650 batteries, but that's actually kind of cool to have the talent cell. And yes, that's a true 12 watts, and it's easy to charge, and just a cool little battery talent cell. For your information, it is a, what is this? I can't remember. 3,000 watts. I'll put it in the description below. But anyway, cool little battery. In here, yes, I do have my coax. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yes, I'm pretty limited sometimes on the distance between the antenna and my radio, so we'll talk about that. This is the charger for the talent cell. This is another antenna that I sometimes use. This is just a good old banana plug, but this is my 80 meter NVIS antenna that I just put it up really low to the ground. Cool little antenna. This is one of my CW keys. I am not very good yet at Morse code, and I'm learning, but I do like to get this out and practice. And this little CW key is just cool. I love this thing. I'll put that in the description below too if you want to get that. This is actually not the key that I use the most. This one is the one that I actually use, and I love this little guy. It's not that hard to set up. Of course, you have to have a cable with that, and we'll use that. In here, I have a couple items that I don't use very often, but I do have a throw weight and a flashlight, cool little flashlight. This is cool because it has a lantern and a flashlight all in one. I don't remember where I found that, but that's about it. Just a couple other do's and items. One other thing, because I do like to use the truSDX radio, I do like to have headphones with this. It does help for me. Maybe it's just my hearing. I'm getting old. And I just use cheapo headsets. I got these from a Delta Airlines flight. And that's all I use. I use cheapos because I tend to rip these out and break them. So I'll just get another pair all the time. And so I have a couple extras. No, I don't use expensive headsets. I use cheapos. And again, plugging it into the side of the handset. The last thing you're going to see me use, and I don't remember where I got this, but this little cable allows me to connect it, and I'll connect it to the microphone, and you will hear everything I'm hearing today. This is just a simple Y plug, but it has this cable from 1/8 to 1/8, and it'll go right inside the radio, and it says camera on the side, and then it says the MVRC100. That's the name of this little cable. But this cable has helped me a ton for videos, and just really cool. So anyway, with that, I will go ahead and start setting up and show you how with just this little pack, I can do a POTO activation. Okay guys, well, as many of you know, the first thing you have to start with is the mast and getting the antenna set up. So I'm going to show you how I do that right now. There's not really much to this. You just take the spike, the dude spike, and push it into the ground. And I like to push it quite a ways, because that is, as you can see, that is the majority of the antenna mast. Okay guys, this is also a video of do what I say and not as I do. You got to be careful, because when you pull this out, they tend to want to fall out. I just did that. Had to pick them all back up, all the pieces. So pull it all the way out, make a good tug on that last one. And then I've learned, again, do what I say and not as I do. Hold this right here, because it will want to slip out. Because what you do, there it goes again. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has had this problem before. But you simply slide that down over like that. And then you can pull the rest of it up. Yeah, it's kind of goofy. But once you got it and you give it enough tugs, it's actually pretty good. It's not bad. And then once you do that, then you can start to take this off, use this to attach your antenna to, and then just slowly take up the, I'll show you here, and then slowly start taking up the individual sections. Give it a good tug with each one. I'm probably not the one to learn from, or maybe you guys have had the same problems I have with this. Yeah, you can really lose all those pieces right out the bottom. And I just keep going up. What I've also learned is when you set this thing up, sometimes it helps to lay it on the ground instead of do what I just did. Yeah, there. And then you connect it all the way to the top. Pretty cool. I really like this mast, but again, you gotta be careful. You guys, one of the things I also want to show you is I really like the packtenna. This wire is so small and lightweight, it's awesome. I don't know what wire I added on, but I did do the banana plug here, and I added my own ferrule, and that's a really cool way. By the way, I also use these really small S-beaners. They're cool and small, but that's what I use. I don't use the bigger ones with this packtenna. I have them, you'll probably see me use them, but for this one, that's all I use, and that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna do this and the little packtenna and hook it up and not do the extension for the 40 meters. Okay, you guys, one of the things I want to show you, we're going to talk about this later on, but using a choke. Using a choke or a 1-to-1 balun. We're going to just use this. I put this ferrite bead on my coax to act as a choke. And you want to make sure this side is for an end-fed half wave close to your radio. In other words, the end-fed half wave is going to use the coax as the counterpoise. And yeah, just in case, I use these ferrite beads to give it a choke. We're going to build some chokes. That's going to be my next video. But yeah, that's really important to make sure you do that, because we're planning on using the coax as that counterpoise. All right, guys, so I have that set up. I have the packtenna set up right here, and great antenna, and it's going. I did move my main mast this direction, and I want to show you something. I decided not to set up this time, but I do have it available. Sometimes it likes to tip over, and sometimes I will put this down to stakes on both sides. I've decided not to do that this time because right now it looks pretty good. Not all of you may have grass like I do. Not all of you may have where you could just push in like my tent pole, collapsible tent pole. Maybe you don't have soft grass like I do. If it was on the top of a mountain where it's hard, yeah, you have to come up with another option. But that's what I use. Okay guys, so I think I have this set up. I have my phone. I'm gonna use my phone to log my activation. This is the truSDX, and I want to kind of describe to you all my connections so that you can kind of see, and if you have any questions, you can see how the heck I did this. My plan is for you to hear everything I hear and see everything that I do, and so yeah, you can duplicate. So first off, I'll pull this out. I have the coax coming into the truSDX. We have the power. It's kind of tilted back with the talent cell battery. And I'm going to plug these in. I've kind of labeled these. You can kind of see silver and red because I don't want to get these mixed up, and I labeled these tips. By the way, I did have to do my own solder connection. You can get this microphone. It works great, but I do recommend that you look up on the internet how to do that. It took me a while. And then I just connect it to the right connectors like this, and I turn that on. And then from there, it has this really cool connector going out with a Y connector. My microphone, I have my microphone on me right now and the other one right here, so you'll be able to hear it. And then of course, my cheapo headsets. So that's pretty much how I have it connected. Let's see if we can find a station and activate this part. Well, guys, this is KA7APR. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think I have a short on one of my microphones. Hey, that's pretty normal, right? But I had a great time. Hopefully you learned something today from my antennas and from how I set things up. And I love the truSDX radio, and it's really portable. But anyway, hope you have a good day. This is KA7APR Clear.